From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
These are more than bracelets.
There's always hope.
They're physical reminders of a brave teen gone too soon.
She even did stuff for someone else who was going through cancer.
This morning, we're remembering Lavina's Lily Witcom and the legacy she leaves behind. Good morning and welcome to Montana This Morning on this Thursday, April 4th. I'm Hailey Monaco in for Augusta McDonald. Happening today in Lavina, a service for a remarkable 17-year-old girl who recently passed away after a courageous battle with cancer. Classes are canceled, but the high school gymnasium will be full as an entire community remembers Lily Witcom. Q2's Alina Howder has more.
These bracelets were made from Lavina High senior Lily Witcom before she passed away from cancer last month. The bright 17-year-old made it her mission to help others despite her tumultuous medical journey.
She gritted her teeth and said, I'm serving it. I'm serving overhand. I'm going to do it.
This is how many say they'll remember 17-year-old Lily Witcom. She played volleyball the same way she lived her life, with grit and determination right up until the very end.
We weren't sure exactly how strong she was going to be through all of this. And she proved that she could just hang in there with the best of them.
Lily passed away last month after a 4-year battle with a cancer called Ewing sarcoma. But even right after her death, Lily's mom says she's still giving back to those around her.
Lily's wish actually was that instead of flowers being bought for her service, that people instead donate money to the Montana Hope Project.
The Montana Hope Project fulfills the wishes of Montana kids who suffer from a terminal, critical, or chronic illness.
I was super inspired that someone who was going through something so hard could give back to other people.
19-year-old McKenna Harmon had known Lily since preschool. She watched as Lily would make these pieces of jewelry, donating all the proceeds.
She even did stuff for someone else who was going through cancer at the same time. She made the sticker out there for someone over in Broadview who had cancer, and she was selling bracelets then for him too.
One of Lily's sisters has taken over her mission and will continue to make bracelets, keeping her sister's memory alive.
And I would wager that this goes farther than Lavina or Broadview, because she has lots of people that she knew along this valley that are also feeling the same way we are.
Kelly Schwer taught Lily in preschool and middle school and knows Lavina's gym will be packed with hundreds for her funeral Thursday.
From here on out, it will be day by day. I think that the students around us will heal, but it might take some time.
A young girl dearly missed, but still inspiring those she leaves behind.
A big thing to Lily was her faith. That's what kept her going, was her faith and always knowing that there's always hope in every situation.
In Lavina, Alina Howder, MTN News.
Alina, thank you so much. A wonderful story for a wonderful young woman.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Good morning, Miller.
Okay, well, good morning. Good weather on the way today. Again today, temperatures today 60s, 70s, maybe even some 80s, some record warmth possible. We have a chance to tie a record in Billings. Sheridan could actually beat a record today. But it doesn't last. Cool down for the weekend, and we've got a wall of water heading our way, giving us a chance of rain and mountain snow. We'll break that down for you coming up. It was warm yesterday, 21 degrees above the norm, our high getting up to 75. Our overnight low warmer than average, a good 12 degrees above the norm, getting down to only 44. Wind still quite breezy out there around Billings. We can still have some gusts over 30 miles an hour. Really is pushed off to our east, like Miles City, Baker, Ekalaka, Sidney, Webo. You can have gusts in excess of 40 miles an hour the next couple of days. Very dry for you too, so don't do anything outside that's going to cause any sparking. No outside burning. Down in northern parts of Wyoming starting tomorrow. Looks like you're going to see some of those winds come into play too around Cody and Sheridan. It's been very dry out there, but those moisture totals for the month and for the year, we have a chance to white those out and get in the plus column this weekend. With some hefty amount of rain heading our way, and of course the mountain snow. We really could use the moisture for that snowpack. It looks like we may have some good news for that coming in for the weekend. 45 right now at the airport, feels like 40. Winds out the southwest at about 9 miles an hour. We're in the 30s and 40s. Pretty nice out there outside of a little bit of rain in Marr County. Our QT viewing area looking pretty good. Get ready. It's a coming. We'll take a look. Coming up.
Thanks, Miller. I'm enjoying that sunshine.
It's been great out there, sure.
And this morning, we're getting a first look at a new plan to improve traffic flow on Zoo Drive. During an open house last night, Montana Department of Transportation officials showed off the blueprints for a multi-million-dollar construction project. It includes upgrading a portion of Zoo Drive near Costco to 5 lanes, traffic signal updates, and ramp widening on I-90. The hope is construction will get started in early 2025 and be completed within a year.
We'll likely have to segment it. We're still developing our traffic control plan, but try to make it easy on the public. It might make sense to close certain segments at times, but not all the time. We don't want to impact businesses too much. So there's a balance there, and that's one reason we're having an open house.
Again, if all goes as planned, construction will begin early next year. A Billings business owner is under fire for preventing parents from taking strollers inside her store. She says she's doing it to stop shoplifters, but as Q2's Charlie Kleps explains, some believe it could be a violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act.
That argument all started with this, a simple stroller which Stones and Bones wouldn't allow inside their store. And that turned into a heated social media debate with one major question in mind. Is this a violation of the ADA?
It's very frustrating.
Life for a person with disabilities isn't easy.
It's pretty difficult.
It's something Laurel resident Kristen Jenkins knows all too well. Both she and her son have autism, something she says makes routine things like grocery shopping extremely difficult.
Especially with, like I said, with the service dogs, it's quite more difficult because people, want to touch, want to feel.
Her struggles were recently felt by another Billings woman who anonymously posted to Facebook complaining about her experience at a local store called Stones and Bones.
I saw that and I couldn't just scroll away. It's like, I have my son that's the same way.
The post claimed the business didn't let their autistic daughter into the store because of her stroller, something the owner of the store doesn't dispute.
We've had large, expensive items strolled out the door in strollers.
Crystal Hamilton says her business's no stroller policy has been in effect for 3 years and is clearly posted on the door. The goal? To stop shoplifters.
Why should we suffer loss? Why can't we protect ourselves from theft and shoplifting?
What's less clear is whether that policy may be a violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Strollers and wheelchairs are very similar, but they are not the same.
Carlos Harmario is the executive director of LIFT, an organization that advocates for disabled residents. He says a stroller would fall under the ADA if it's being used as a mobility device.
They are preventing that individual on the stroll from living life to the fullest.
However, Hamilton argues this surveillance video proves that wasn't the case.
It's not a mobility device, it's a restraint device.
The child walks into the store on her own, and Hamilton claims the family never mentioned a disability.
She walked in just fine, and her mother stated that they needed to put her in the stroller to keep her from touching things.
While she doesn't plan on changing the policy, Hamilton does regret her reaction online.
I was angry about the 1-star review. My response was not professional. I could have had a better response.
Regardless, some are vowing not to return.
I can't support a business that's not going to support the disabled.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Charlie, thank you. New this morning, crews in Taiwan have been conducting a massive search following its most powerful earthquake in a quarter century. The magnitude 7.4 quake hit during the morning rush hour. At least 9 people are dead, with about 1,000 people injured. Dozens more were trapped by debris. Soon, President Biden and Israel's Prime Minister will speak for the first time since Monday's deadly airstrike on the aid workers in Gaza. 7 people were killed, including a U.S.-Canadian dual citizen. CBS's Jared Hill brings us the latest details.
Today, President Biden is set to speak with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu by phone, their first conversation since Monday's strike by Israeli forces, which killed 7 humanitarian workers with World Central Kitchen, the food charity founded by celebrity chef Jose Andres.
Accountable for the World Central Kitchen strike, Mr. President.
Yesterday, President Biden ignored questions from reporters on the strike, though earlier this week he said he was outraged and heartbroken. The Biden administration says it's awaiting the results of Israel's investigation of the incident, which Netanyahu has called unintentional.
This incident was a grave mistake.
This was not just bad luck
situation where, we dropped the bomb in the wrong place.
Chef Andres told Reuters he believes his workers were targeted.
IDF knew of our movements, the route was clear, the communication was clear.
Netanyahu has faced criticism and backlash at home and abroad due to his overall handling of the conflict. Israeli War Cabinet member Benny Gantz, a political rival of Netanyahu's, is calling for new elections in September.
I believe that the Israeli society needs to renew its contract with its leadership.
The bodies of the slain World Kitchen Aid workers have been transported out of Gaza, and the organization has suspended operations there. The United Nations is also halting the nighttime movements of its aid workers for 48 hours to consider security issues. It's all in the aftermath of Monday's strike. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Chef Jose Andres says he doesn't know when World Central Kitchen will resume operations in Gaza. The United Nations says nearly 200 aid workers have been killed in Gaza and the West Bank since the war began last October. Now we go to Park City for some heavy lifting. Q2's David J shows us why more than 150 people are flexing their muscles to physically pick up an entire garage.
A community is coming together to help move that building, which is about 1,200 square feet and weighs about 9,000 pounds, to take it from that slab over there and put it on this new slab. The man who owns this property lost his home on the Yellowstone River during the flooding a couple of years ago, and this has been a big boost, all this help that he's getting to help keep his property.
Saturday is moving day for Park City resident Mike Kinsey, but it won't resemble a move that most Montanans have ever seen. About 150 volunteers will physically pick up Kinsey's garage, turn it and move it 100 feet to higher ground, a scene that will resemble this one in Pennsylvania.
I felt defeated until Nelson came into my life and started talking about doing this for cookies.
Nelson Troyer is a member of the Amish community near Roberts and is a mastermind behind the project.
And on the side they go to the truss. That way we don't lift the roof off of the wall.
Troyer had been working on the neighbor's barn when Kinsey asked him if he could work on his garage.
It's going to have Nelson tear it down. He just told me I can't, in my right mind, see you destroying that nice building.
With a old fellow that lost his house in the river, why not reach out and help him?
Kinsey lost his home during the flooding on the Yellowstone River in June of 2022, and he's still trying to recover.
I've been here since 1977, like I told you, and I'm buried in debt right now on this property, but I'm trying to stay here, trying to figure out a way to hang on to it and move back down here and live here.
Troyer still may be looking for volunteers and estimates about 156 can fit in the building in order to move it.
My goal is, to get the people together to help Mike. He's in need of help.
A helping hand and an unconventional way of pitching in from a community that wants to help.
I spent like 3 whole days with Nelson, and there's a lot to be said for that lifestyle, and if we all lived like that in America, we wouldn't have none of these problems we're facing now. Yeah, it's been a life-changing experience getting to know this guy.
In Park City, David J., MTN News.